today I have 4 projects using a lot of the same things. I have like maybe 3 products in particular that I wanted to kind of highlight today. And one of them is so versatile that I just kept going. And I could have made a million more products, or excuse me, projects. I can't talk, sorry. I could have made a million more projects with it because there are so many things you could do with it that I'm just scratching the surface. But I'm just going to show you a few things that you can do with it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera view. Oh, do you like my shirt today? My shirt, I finally got to wear. I've had it for a little bit. But I finally got to wear my Create Your Own Ending sweatshirt because it's finally cool enough so I can. So let me go ahead and switch that. So what I want to highlight today is I've taken them all off, sorry. Let me show you these cute dies. These are just really basic, but really, really, because they are basic, useful dies. And these are the tree builder dies. And I've been itching to use these. The design team, hi Carrie. The design team, I've just been amazed by the samples that they have turned out. And so I hadn't had a chance to really play with them too much yet and was excited to get my hands on this so that I could. Okay, so this is how it comes. You've got all 3 of your sizes, and then you've got your little embellishments you can use. You've got a little star you can use on the top, and then there's a little teeny ornament and a little teeny star. And smartly, it was designed so that you don't lose those, because they're so tiny it'd be really easy to lose those little guys. So that will keep them all together. And then I'm also going to use, forgive the state of how it's not looking like it did when it got packaged because I use it all the time. But this is Christopher's Sentiment. I'll show you the back so you can see better what it all includes. You've got smile, celebrate, hugs, thanks, happy, joy, birthday, hi. And I use this all the time. I love it. We're going to use celebrate and we're going to use joy a couple times today. And the last thing that is like these are the stars of the show, I should say, is the Sweater Weather paper pack. And I don't know about you. I know that I received this as a free gift not too long ago. And it's so cute. I just think it needs a lot of attention because it's so fun. And we finally have hit sweater weather, at least here in Texas. And maybe I'm jumping the gun a little because coming from Phoenix, everything probably feels cooler. But today was actually cold. Like I actually was cold. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you is really simple. I'm going to, well, first of all, I'll start with these. I have 2 cards that are kind of a twofer because when you cut them out and everything, you can make 2 using one, you use a half of the paper for each one.
Mary says hi.
Hi, Mary. So I'm going to use, this is lunch bag cardstock. And I did pre-cut stuff because, like I said, I have 4 things that I want to show you today. So I wanted to be able to get through all of them.
Carrie says she understands cold. She lives in Minnesota.
Oh, I bet you do, Carrie. I lived in Montana for 1 winter, and that was a long winter. It was definitely cold. It was beautiful, but it was a little cold for my liking. Okay, so I went ahead and I attached the little I think they're called, it's either a jot or a tittle. I can't remember which is which. But I wanted to make sure that I did not lose that little guy. So I'm just going to use, this is barely art glue. And it has that nice fine tip on it that makes it easy to guide. How are all of you guys doing today?
Marlene says hi.
Hi, Marlene.
She says congratulations for getting hired on at Brutus Monroe.
Oh, thanks, Marlene. I am really excited. I've been having fun. Okay. So now we've got our sentiment all glued on. And when you use the back of them, they all come with the, you've got your regular die. Somewhere I have it. I have the die cut sitting in it so I won't lose it. So you can see we're going to use this again. But so you've got this piece and then you've got the backing to it. And that makes it really easy to line everything up. So we've got that ready to go. And then on this, I simply got my little dies out and I used my glass mat to just kind of center it on there. And I just made mini slim lines. Mine are 6 and, what is it? This piece is 6, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So I think they're 6 1/4 by 3 1/4, if I'm not mistaken. Let me measure this piece so I can tell you for sure.
3 1/4.
Yeah, 6 1/4. Okay, so we are just going to use some of our Easy Pull foam. I just have to open it. I didn't realize I didn't have one open. So this is how it comes. These are awesome. If you are not familiar with these are the Easy Tab foam dots. And I just flipped a bunch of them off. Hang on one sec. Okay, so who said that?
Mary.
Oh, Mary, I bet. Okay, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let me kind of piece it together for a second and make sure I have everything I want where I want, because we want to jazz it up just a little bit. So we are going to take this red piece and we are going to take some black soot distress ink. And I just need to find a brush that is dark enough. I don't know if I have one out. Hang on one sec. I thought I had all of the colors in there. Well, we'll just use this one. I think it'll be fine. It's got a little bit of purple, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of this. And I'm just going to lightly go around the edges. And I'm not really being all precise or anything. I mean, this really isn't a precise technique. The whole point is to kind of make it like a little distressed, right? And because we've got those cutouts in the middle, I think we should go along the edge of those a little bit. Might be easier to do it this way. Probably couldn't even see that anyway, sorry. Hopefully I wasn't too much off camera. I do want to thank Darren for moderating. He's always so good about that. And he usually warns me if I'm off camera, so thank you for letting me depend on you, Darren. So this is definitely not precise today. I am definitely a little rough around the edges on this one. And that's okay.
Hi.
Who did? Theresa, hello. Okay, I have to tell you guys about Theresa. So when we drove here, Theresa very kindly, so I was freaked out because we have this great big moving truck. I don't even remember the dimensions, but it's the biggest one that U-Haul offers. And Darren's legs don't allow for him to drive it. It would be too hard on his legs to drive that far in that truck. And I was terrified. I was so scared about driving this truck that she offered to come with us. And she drove that truck all the way from Arizona to Texas just because she is that sweet of a person. Love her. Okay, let me grab.
Heather said hi.
Hi, Heather. Now I'm going to use, I don't know how many of you subscribe to the ATC kit, but oftentimes it comes with the fluid acrylic, which isn't available on its own at this point. I know they've talked about maybe doing that in the future. I don't know quite where we're at with that, but for now, if you want some, get the ATC kit. It's definitely well worth your money anyway. It is a lot of fun. So I'm just going to water that down a little bit. I'm going to grab myself a little brush. that nice and wet and kind of water that down just a little bit. Because I want to do a little bit of splatter with this. And I'm just using a cheap paintbrush, nothing special.
Jerry said the ATC kit is gorgeous this month. Heather did a great job on it.
Jerry, I agree, it really is beautiful. Honestly, I have never been disappointed with one. I think they are so much fun. Okay, so see, I didn't do a whole lot, but it was just enough to give it a little bit more character. And then we are going to place that on here, but I want to put a little bit of space between our top layer and the bottom so that you can see that it's layered. And I'm right in the middle of opening my foam squares when they were kind of flying around. There we go. See if I can keep those under control. Like I said, I'm having a little bit of a clumsy day, so you never know. Thanks for being patient with me. Okay, so now if you go very slow.
Robin said your tree paper is upside down.
Oh, sure is. Thanks, Robin. Okay, so then if you just go a little slow and a little careful, slow and steady wins the race, right? Then your tab will be your friend in helping you get the little backer off.
Carrie and Karen both love the foam dot.
They are awesome, aren't they? And it's amazing what a little foam dot can do to change the look of whatever you're creating. Okay, we're on our last little foam dot. We can go ahead and get that on there. See if I can line it up. Because I'm live, I probably won't be able to. Hopefully I will, though.
Carrie says, I push my nail in the middle of them. Sides lift up and easy up. It takes off.
Oh, that's a good tip. Okay, I think we have it lined up. There we go. And then I'm just going to center that. We'll use some of our double-sided tape. So is it getting colder where you all are? I know that it snowed in Utah. Sister on the phone. Okay. So now we've got our
off camera.
We've got our layers. Thank you. And now we just need to attach this little guy. Now we have just a simple, easy card.
The rest says yes, she's loving the coldness. It snowed in Boise too.
Are you in Boise right now, Theresa, or are you in Arizona? Because cold in Arizona is what, 90?
Jackie says it's warm in Pittsburgh.
Yeah?
It was 80
Jackie?
Yesterday, 75 today.
Yeah, yesterday was warmer here, but the locals keep telling me that it can be all of the seasons in one day. So we will see how that plays out. Okay, so I feel like it needs a little something more. And if you've watched me before, you probably know where I'm going with this. Oh, looks like I need to buy more black dots. Shocker. Oh, no, there's some. Okay, so we'll just add Do we want black? I think we'll use black. And maybe one over here. I think I like that better that way. Easy peasy. Already done with one card, guys.
President says, I'm not in Idaho. I have friends there. It's 73 right now, but last night was around 60-ish.
Wow.
That's cool for Phoenix.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let me get us started on the second card. So this is the other half of that cute paper from the sweater weather pad. I should kind of show you what that looks like. You can kind of see the prints on the front, but let's just flip through them really quick. So many cute ones. Do you guys do ugly sweater parties at Christmas? I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but sometimes I'm like, why is that considered ugly? I think it's cute. Maybe I need to be worried. I don't know, but I think this is lots of fun. Okay, so now.
Janet and Carrie both like your card. Pretty easy and cute.
Thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate that. So this one is also going to be quick and actually probably even quicker. So we're going to take that piece that I talked about before. Excuse me, I have ink on my hands. I almost always do, so that's just part of being me. Let me make this a little bit easier. I'm going to use a piece of the this is the stamping grid.
Robin said, I love how the sweater trees are in the middle of the die-cut trees. Did you plan it that way?
I actually did. I actually kind of measured it out how I wanted it to lay, but thank you for noticing. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly and hopefully not too messily glue. I thought about doing this off camera too because I swear when I do a live, I just become very clumsy. But I decided that you need to see it's really not that bad. It's not hard. And these, like I said, really make it easy. So let's make sure I put everything in the right place. Am I missing some? I'm missing E-L-E. I've got that. Got that. So yeah, I'm missing a piece. Hang on one sec. So now we'll just finish gluing that. Okay. All right.
Mary says, I love that celebrate die. I use it often.
Isn't it pretty? I know it works for so many things. I think it's a great die set because it is really versatile. I make a lot of hello cards just because you can use them for so many things and because my family doesn't live here and a lot of my friends don't live here. So when I'm mailing a card, sometimes it's just to check in, right? And I like that it's little because sometimes you just only have a little space left for your sentiment. Okay. I told you, you guys. I don't know what's in the air, but I am telling you what, I am just having that clumsy day I told you about. Okay, see how easy that is? Even for me. So I think we're finally starting to feel settled. We've only have a few more boxes. We need to get some bookshelves and then we can put our books away and that'll take care of the end of our boxes. But we have a fridge now. We have a washer and dryer. We have beds. So that is all good news. We don't have to feel like we're camping anymore. right. There we go. So that is the hardest part of this card. And I want you to notice that I remembered this time to put my pin in there. It's documented proof now. Okay, so now we're going to take, I cut a red mini slimline, and this is the other half of the 6x6 paper we used here. Oh, the whole thing is down a little low. I'm going to try not to notice that.
Jackie says, yay, so excited to move into a new house.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I couldn't handle it. It was off center too much, so I have to move it. It was down just a little too low, and that will drive me crazy. Okay, and now I just have to contend with that little bit.
Jessie says, hi.
Hi, Jessie. Thanks for joining us today. See, if I have it a little bit wider on one side, I'd rather have it be the bottom than the top. I don't know. That's just me. So I think that's better. I can live with that. Okay, so now let's finish this guy off. So we're just going to throw a little bit of our double stick tape.
Jessie said, congrats.
Thanks, Betsy. All right, and like I said, this card is going to be even quicker. I do want to do one more thing to this one too, to just kind of jazz it up. So if you haven't seen the holiday Chroma Mist bundle.
Jessie gave me hugs.
Oh, that was sweet.
You're so mean to me.
Because I'm so mean. Oh, sorry. Yes,
I added the mean part.
You added the mean part. That sounds more like you. Doesn't sound like Jessie. This is the Ornament Gold, and it's really pretty. Today was the first day I tried it out, and I want to show you what it looks like. So we'll use a little bit of it on our, got to pull out the ugly bucket, and I think we'll put a little bit of it on. So when you spray it, it's a fine mist, and it just adds a little bit of shimmer. So I'm going to try something I haven't tried yet, so bear with me.
Carrie said, I don't know if I could ever move again. Been in my house 19 years, I have a lot of stuff.
Oh, Carrie, I keep telling Darren I'm done with moving ever again, too. I hope I never have to move again. That was some ride, let me tell you. And I'm not just talking about the ride itself. I'm talking about the whole experience. So it doesn't really show up as much as I'd like it to on this paper. So I'll show you on a different piece of paper so you can at least get an idea of how that gold shines. It is gorgeous. I have a piece of white handy, thankfully. Somewhere. Yeah. Moving is for the birds.
We're old enough now, we don't need to move anymore.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, this is what it looks like. And you want to make sure that you shake it up because it has all this good stuff at the bottom.
Jessie said, my husband said if we ever win the lottery, everything stays here and we get all new stuff.
Oh, Jessie, I hope you do win the lottery. So I know it's probably hard to see on camera, but as it dries, it'll get shinier. I'll set it aside for a minute and we'll wait for it to dry a bit. But also, if you look on the Brutus Monroe page on Instagram or Facebook, I'm sure you could go back and look at the pictures. Gina actually created a card using this not too long ago, and it shows off the shimmer a lot better. But can you see it at all? Is it showing at all?
No.
Let me see if I can adjust the light a little bit. Does that help? Well, maybe that.
Said, no, I like my old stuff.
It's really pretty. Okay, but obviously it doesn't show up very much on this, so now I know. I told you we would figure it out together. You kind of can see it, but it's just really faint, so we're just gonna call it good. And so I am going to actually want to add our ribbon ahead of time too. And we're gonna put these little guys, which are the insides of the trees that we cut out. We're gonna add them behind it. So that's what I was talking about when I said it's a twofer. So let's get.
Just wing it.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of winging it around here, don't we, Darren?
Yeah.
He knows more than anybody about how I wing it sometimes. He's a good sport. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can tie a bow without bending our paper too much.
Jesse said you're so frugal, she loves it.
So frugal?
Yeah.
About?
Just always using stuff.
Yeah. I just figure if you've cut it out anyway, you may as well use it, right? I'm all about using it all up. Okay, so that is not a stellar bow. Let's move it over a little bit. And honestly, on something like this, you're probably better off just putting another piece behind it. This is beautiful paper, and for a pattern paper, it's especially nice and thick. But when you're gonna tie a bow around it, do yourself a favor and put it on some cardstock, because it will hold its shape a lot better, and you won't be as frustrated trying to get it to. Let me just grab a piece of cardstock.
Said you're frugal making a twofer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm all for using it all up. And I love just being able to use my scraps like this. Let's see, which side is the bottom? Will we be able to get it that way? I don't think that one's quite wide enough. Let me grab a little bit wider one. Sorry, I usually have everything right there, but we are just gonna get it to work.
They both got dream jobs.
But what?
We both have dream jobs.
You know what? I consider myself very fortunate, Jesse. The blessing is not lost on me, trust me. We definitely both feel very, very fortunate. So I'm cutting it just a little bit smaller because I don't want to have to contend with all the edges. I want to know it's smaller. I'm even going to cut it a tiny bit smaller than this so that we can just stabilize it. And I think we've done it. Okay. So now our bow is going to be a lot easier to deal with. And you probably all already would have done that on your own, but I didn't. So thanks for being there with me while I figured stuff out. All right, so we're going to...
You're low on the camera again.
Okay. Sorry, I'm wrestling with the bow. Okay, I think we about have that bow covered. Just can't get my fingers in those little loops. There we go. I think we want to move it down a little bit. Yep. And I want to keep it fairly close to the edge. I think about right, we'll line it up with that last little bit of the tree. And we'll just kind of stabilize it there this way so it doesn't move around a lot. Make sure it looks okay on the front. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so we've got our bow on there. And you could pop that up if you want, but I think I'm just going to do it flat. So if you have in your stash these dies, this paper, and the other set of dies, you guys will be able to make everything ever. I mean, really, all the Christmas cards you could want. But who wants only that many things, right? I'm all about Christmas. I always think I couldn't ever even imagine using another Christmas set because I have so many, and then I'm like, yeah, I can. All I have to do is just wait till the next year and see all the pretties, and then I have to have them. But those are my hardest ones to part with when I'm cleaning out my stuff.
Jessie says she loves the tear tape.
That tear tape is something else. I like it too, Jessie. Okay, so now all we have to do is stick on our trees, and we've got another card down. And even with all of the hiccups that I had, it was pretty fast. So we're going to stick our little tree right here, I think. Maybe down a little bit lower. About right there, maybe. And then let's put some, well, I think we're going to put this on foam. So let's just do these guys flat.
Go up a little bit on the camera again, please.
Okay. Tell me if I've got this in the right spot, and I'll just tape the grid down, and then it'll help me stay on.
Move the white paper up.
I moved it over. We're good now. I know it's not like perfectly straight, but it'll work. It's better than I was, right?
Yep, you stay above the one line.
So we'll stick another one right there. And we'll get this last guy on there.
Jackie says she needs to do a major D stash soon.
Jackie, you know what? All you have to do is move, and it will make you have no trouble parting with your things. I kind of like them a little bit less symmetrical. I think we'll just kind of move that guy up a little bit. Yep, I like that better. So now, let's put this guy on some foam. And we will have our second card complete.
Jackie said my sister raised my cabinets, that helps.
Your sister does what?
Raise her cabinet.
Oh, she raids it. Oh, yeah, that does help. I bet she loves coming to your house. It's nice too when you have friends to like just even sometimes trading stuff. I mean, sometimes somebody just has the right thing, and I know for a long time I had to learn how to not hoard my stuff because I'd be like, because I was a scrapbooker, and I'd be like, oh, I have to save that one for a special layout. And then before you know it, it's like out of style, and I mean, even paper has trends, right? So just use your stuff. It's just paper, you know? There we go. Okay. I think we might need one more to go on our C, and I'm just going to cut one down. And I'm going to put it all on the tab side so I can get it apart. So I just cut a little tiny sliver, and I will, see, there we go. That should work. And really what I should have done that I didn't think about till just now, because I can see a little bit of the foam, is these come in black too. And that would have been wise to use on this because I've got the black, right? So keep that in mind if you are purchasing some, that you can find it in white and black. So this is, I think, set. I think we're good. I don't think it needs a whole lot more. We could add...
This has got to run. Great seeing you both again.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, so that one's done. We've got this one. And now we're going to move on to...
Jackie says pretty.
Oh, thank you. So I've got 2 more, and they're going to be pretty quick too. I've already done all the coloring. Let's see, I'll do the colored one first. I'll save my favorite one for last. So this one is fun. So this one is mostly just layers. So I cut the tree out. We're going to layer this one this way, so if the trees are going the right way. And then I cut a frame using the 2 biggest trees that we're just going to set in there. And then have you guys seen the stamp of the month? It's really cute. It's this cute little elephant. And his little sweater, I was like, oh, his little sweater matches that paper pack. I need to use him on that paper so that I can show how fun that is. So that's what I'm doing. So we're gonna put this we'll center that on our, the best we can anyway, on our cardstock. Almost, oh my goodness. Okay, I think we have it about right here. Okay. Sorry, that was kind of painful, wasn't it? I know it was for me. I don't know about you guys, but oh my goodness, I was having a hard time with that one. And yes, I am moving it a little bit.
That is love your tape style. I way over tape.
You know, I have to untape enough that that it's easier if you don't have too much tape on there. Okay, so now I think on this guy, just to kind of tie, because this is kind of an off-white in here, and we're gonna have this. Oh, I'll show you the little elephant. I got him all colored up, but I think we're gonna use a little bit of the white chroma mist on this. And while I'm thinking about it, let me see if that dried a little bit. Now that it's getting a little drier, can you see it better? Yeah, you can see it a little better in the camera. It's gorgeous. And you could spray it over whatever. That's one of the nice things about it. It's kind of a sheer color. I like that about it. So, let's do a little bit of this. Now you can just spray it if you want. Or you can, I'm going to flick it because I think I need to probably clean the nozzle or something. The nice thing about white is you can just kind of wipe it off. I just blotted it a little bit and it's fine. So it's going to dry white really light too. This came out of my cap. Hang on one sec. It's just going to be one of those days. Okay, so we're going to just use this and flick some of that on there. And if you have white acrylic, fluid acrylic, you could do the same thing you did with the black. And it would probably show up a little bit more opaque than this. Let's see something for a sec. I'm just going to set that there for a minute. Because you could also use re-inker. But I think we're just going to stick with this. I'm just trying to get a little bit of texture on there. Nothing too major. And I'm going to just hit this with my heat tool really quick because I have no patience. I got it just a little wetter than I had actually intended, but it's fine. Just gonna roll with it. But see, I like how the spray is more subtle, but when you flick it and you've got kind of the drops tend to be a little bit more opaque. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now let's get this on here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Well, no, I'm not, because this is going to go inside. You could, if you wanted to go with the smaller one and just have it framed. So you, out of this one, you would cut the smaller size, and then you would set that around it. If you wanted to pop it up, you could pop it up and you could make it a shaker. But for this one, I just have it laying right in it, so I'm not going to worry about the foam squares on that one, or the foam dots on that one. Okay. So let's get that guy on there. Just kind of eyeballing it, to be honest with you, on this one.
You know, if you take half the opening and half the paper, you can just set the tree on the tape.
What was that?
Put the tape over half the opening underneath, and half the paper, you can set the tree right on it.
Half of the opening and half of the what?
Never mind.
Sorry, I'm not understanding what you're asking me. Okay, I'm going to ignore that it's a little off center. So go ahead and ignore it too. I'm struggling with that today. Okay, so I'm just going to use some of my Barely Art glue. And I'm just going to set that right inside. Oh, I forgot something. Thankfully, that sparse tape that I do, this right here is why. Okay, this step is kind of important. We want to show off that tree, right? We want to kind of make it look like it's got a green tree behind it. So, kind of center that on there as best we can. Okay, so now this piece can go on there. My goodness. Okay. And because I got it before it was on there very long, it didn't tear up my pattern paper, which is nice. And now I have a second chance at getting it on there a little straighter, which I think I did. So that ended up being a blessing in disguise. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. And set that inside. Okay, and then we're just going to put this little guy down here at the bottom. And you could, I mean, these trees are so fun. You could do, like I've got these little, we could add a couple.
Christina says hi.
Hi, Christina. I kind of like that. I think he needs a little bit more pizzazz. So we're going to just, who doesn't love a shiny tree, right? I'm telling you, everything gaudy and shiny and fun. That side of me comes out at Christmas. I'm pretty low-key, like I don't wear a lot of sparkles or anything like that, you know what I mean? But at Christmas time, my thing is that I like to collect bird ornaments, because I started when I inherited my grandma's ornaments. She had some birds on her tree, and I thought they were so cool that I decided that that was kind of a fun theme. And I love bird ornaments, and the gaudier and sparklier they are, the better. So every year I get a new bird for my tree.
Christina said imagine paper pasting that sweater.
Paper piecing that? That would be cute. You could do that. That would be really cute. I love paper piecing. I haven't done that for a while. Okay, so now we've got our pre-cut, pre-scored card base. And if you haven't seen these are awesome. These are seriously, they just are a nice little convenience to have. And we will center that.
Spray on the glitter. Christina said they have some of my grand bird ornaments.
Oh, that's awesome. I have my grandma's, and I don't know that my mom had a lot of birds, but my mom loved birds. Maybe that's why I love them so much, is they make me think of her. But for all my boys' lives, I have given them an ornament every year. And so I just figure by the time they move, then they can take their ornaments, and I'll have enough bird ornaments to fill the tree. Works out pretty good.
Doris asked, what's your favorite bird?
Oh, you know, I don't know that I have a favorite bird, but I do think cardinals are beautiful. The traditional just cardinal at Christmas, but I like all sorts. I have everything from flamingos to peacocks to owls on my tree. So this needs a sentiment, and then I think we will have that. I typically will use the conversation clippings because they are so convenient, but I think we will just use the little sentiment that came with it.
Christina says her ornaments are over 7 years old.
70 years?
Yes.
Oh, Christina, that's awesome. I bet they're beautiful. There's something about those vintage ones that are just kind of magical anyway. Okay, so I just peeled this off without noticing. I want to make sure I put it on there right. All right, well, we're just going to have to test it out. I'm going to get my Misty out because I think I'm going to do something scary. And that is, I'm going to stamp it directly on the card, but for now, we'll test it out on something else first. I just want to get it positioned. Oh, I can see it now. It's this way. So now I'll just do it on this. I like it a little lower though, so I might not actually do it directly on. I think we're gonna actually cut it out of something else.
Your ornament's starting to get raggedy.
My what is?
Your ornament's starting to get raggedy.
Oh, yeah, ornaments do that. I think especially when they're well loved, right? I know growing up we had some that were little elves that were like pine cones. And over time they just kind of fell apart. We need a little piece of white. I'm sure I've got one. Just need to cut it a little smaller. Actually, I think I'll just die cut it right now. Should we just make a circle for that? Let's just make a little circle for that. So I guess I'll just cut it and then die cut it. Okay. And cut it one more time just to make it a little less cumbersome. I think I'll put it right about there. Give myself plenty of room for that die. Okay, and now I'm just going to use some Raven ink. And one tip I will share with you that I read, I was intrigued because in a chat somewhere, somebody was saying that they had a Misty, but their sentiments always still just kind of came out bloppy, where they're just kind of thick and heavy. And so the advice is just that you just go light, don't push too hard, and just keep layering it. I mean, you may do it a lot, but at least if you are light about it, see, it keeps its shape better and you don't end up with those really thick, crazy blobs.
I think Friday night trees, the bigger the better. We have a German store here in Minnesota. My mother and father-in-law collected for my sister-in-law and husband. She passed away in 2014. Now I buy them for my kids.
Oh, Carrie, that's wonderful. That is, I love Christmas traditions. Christmas is my favorite. I love Christmas like Christopher and Michael love Halloween. Okay, see? So yeah, I mean, it took a few tries because I haven't ever used that stamp. So sometimes that takes a little longer anyway because you kind of condition it a little bit. But also, I mean, it didn't take long enough to make a big difference. I mean, I would rather take a couple extra seconds to do that and have it look good than be quick, and then I end up spending the time anyway when I redo it, right? So if you have struggled with that, that's how you get the fine details to stay fine. Okay, that seems like that's a good rule of thumb anyway, is take your time and don't rush. That's good. Let me see. I kind of want to do something a little thinner anyway. See, I think that's going to look better because it's smaller. Let's try that. Just grabbing a die from my stash. And I just use the repositional tape to make sure it stays in place. Excuse the table while it shakes while I just get that cut out really quick. And it's done. So let me just bring that over and we will finish that guy off.
Mary, congratulations on the job.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. Okay, yep, I like that down low. Yep, that's what it needed. We are good.
Do you need a time check?
Sure.
It's 6.
Yeah, the next one will be pretty quick, so I'm not too worried. Sorry, I'm going a little later than I usually do. I usually take about an hour, but we have one more, and it's really fun, so stick around for that. You could add ribbon to that. You could add, little white or whatever color you want, and you'd be good. So right now we've got these ones. We have one more, and this one was an experiment. It is an experiment because I haven't actually assembled it, so bear with me as we put this guy together, and let's all cross our fingers that my plan actually works.
Adorable.
Who said that?
Jana.
Thanks, Jana. Okay, so this guy, I'm just simply taking a piece of pattern paper. The front is going to be really, really simple. When I say simple, I'm talking super simple. And we'll just stick that guy on our front. And
Gary said, cute start to Christmas cards this year.
thanks, Jerry. I think it's definitely,
Jerry,
that was Carrie too?
yes.
I'm telling you, Carrie, forgive me. I apparently am really deaf today. And
Jerry's not talking to us. So.
okay, Jerry's not here today. Well, Jerry will have to know if she watches the replay that we missed her today, right? Carrie, I am so sorry that I keep calling you Jerry. Yeah, these are all really fun, and you could do all these with a lot of the same supplies, so you have a ton at your fingertips. I'm going to do the inside, and then we'll just, actually no, I kind of want to do the outside first, because I'm telling you, it's just a super simple, the outside is not the star of the show. It's cute, it's fine, but it's not the star of the show. And we're just going to do the words this time. I'm not going to put the backer on that, because I think it stands out enough that it's okay on its own. I love this joy. This is one of my favorite sentiments in that set. And I just love it at Christmas time anyway, because that is what Christmas is to me. It's joy. Okay, got that guy on, and we didn't even lose our little dot. Gonna use our little, I don't even remember, a detail. I can't remember what this is called. I'm sorry. If somebody knows, they can help me out. Okay, let's see if I can flip it over. If not, then we're just going to put it on backwards, because I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Okay, that works for me. So that's the front of our card. Super simple, cute, but you know, it's not word.
Oh, detail grabber.
Detail grabber. See, I had detail right. Okay, so this part, we're going to layer up some trees. And this is our awesome glitter stock. And honestly, I think because we want to make sure this is really on there, I'm going to be quite generous with the tape, and I may even go around it a little bit with glue to get some of the places that the tape didn't get. Just because this is the anchor piece to the rest of what we're doing. So I'm just going to center that on there.
You're off camera.
I am?
You're the tape anyway.
Okay. I forgot to glue it, right? But it's okay. It's got enough on it. It feels like it's pretty secure. Okay, so now is when our glue is going to come in. We're going to glue it right all the way down, because the next piece is the same size. And I just scored down the middle of all of these. I did it on my cutter with the score blade, but you could do it on your score board without any trouble. But now on this one, I'm not taping down the sides. It's all going to be just glue in the center. And so just line those up. And for now, I mean, obviously I'm pushing it down, but eventually we're going to fluff the whole thing up. Okay? So now we'll just do our next layer and just look to see how much glue you need, because you don't need the whole line now because it's the smaller tree. Just make sure you've got it kind of centered on there. And we'll do our next one, which is also this size, but this one now we can do all the way down because we know the next one's the same size, right? And I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is snoring. He woke up because I said my dog. He knows I'm talking about him. Hi, buddy. Okay. So if I wasn't live, I would probably let them dry in between, or at least a little bit. Definitely before I do the next part I'm going to do while it's wet. And I actually went up a little higher than I should have because it's not going to be as long. So we'll just kind of wipe it as we go. I shouldn't have put it up so high. And then once it dries, then we're just going to fluff them all. And you'll have, let's see if I can show you. Hopefully it's dry enough that I can get away with this. But you can see that last layer is not going to let me, but I'll at least show you the rest of it. So you can just kind of fluff it up. And even flat it's pretty, but I think it's kind of a fun little way to do it. But like I said, it's wet, so I'm going to have to let that dry. And then you've got the outside. People just think, oh, that's a cute card. And then you open it up and it's got all this fun detail. But again, you definitely want to let all those layers dry before you start messing with it like I am. And it seems to have worked. I'm sure there's more you can do with it. Like I said, it was kind of an experiment. I wanted to try it out, and it seems like it works pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera. Oh, we'll look at them one more time. So we got this one. We've got this guy. We got this guy. And we got this guy. And we used all of those were used made using the Sweater Weather paper pack. And Christopher's Sentiments I used on 3 of the cards. The Stamp of the Month was used on that one. And did I forget anything? Oh, the big one, the tree builder. This guy. So, just a little tip of a way to get a whole bunch of cards from just a few products. So I will have something new for you next week, and I will see you same time, same place, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.